Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Congratulations on joining us. As of right now, we have 108 participants on the line. Today's Monday. We get to learn from an amazing individual, Michael Huggins. Michael and Vanessa are dear friends of mine whom I've known for, about 14 years now. And I have literally watched Michael and Vanessa go from where they were to where they are now. And it's such an incredible transformation to have witnessed. And wow, over this weekend at Nationals, I'm so incredibly proud of these friends of mine who they've just done so much for, not for me, but for everybody in this entire company. And, you know, Michael and Vanessa have been through a lot. They have a lot of experience to share with us. And they're just so generous to spend so much time doing trainings and giving back to the company. So I'm so honored to be able to know Michael and to be able to be a part of Renatus because of Michael and Vanessa. I'm so very grateful for you guys. A little bit of their history. Michael and Vanessa came from a very frustrated place about 10 years ago. They were living in Vanessa's mother's basement. And Michael was working two jobs. He was working for Jiffy Lube and Sears as an auto mechanic. He had gone to school, he'd gotten student loans, and ended up working at Jiffy Lube, still paycheck to paycheck, working two jobs to make ends meet, and was very, very frustrated. After paying down his student loans for so long, he realized that the balance had actually gone up. He thought that he was maybe halfway done. He'd paid, a good chunk of money towards those loans, and then lo and behold, the balance again had gone up, and that was due to interest. Michael didn't know what he didn't know. He knew that he needed to make a change and find something different, and so he learned about real estate investing, and he actually found Renatus. He studied his education. He completely shifted his mindset, and he focused on Jim Rohn, studied Napoleon Hill, some very, very powerful mindset gurus. And today, Michael is now the number 2 income earner in the entire company. Michael has earned himself multiple 7 figures in Renatus. Michael is part of the President's Advisory Council with our CEO, Bob Snyder. Michael helps with our events in both Salt Lake City and Denver, as well as he just bought over 240 acres in Tennessee to build an incredible farm. And I mean, there's a lot more to it than just a farm. He's doing some really, really incredible work with Vanessa, and I'm just so excited for them. So we're fortunate to get to learn from Michael this morning. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How was Nationals? My goodness, I had a blast. Wow, what an event. And for everyone who participated, especially in the Facebook group, participating throughout the event, that was a ton of fun to see. And so I want to thank everybody for their participation. And yeah, let's jump into this. I had a lot of questions about my training last weekend. And oh, this is weird. I get to admit everyone in now.
If you want to make me the host again, I'll manage that.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so let's talk about making some money. Making some money, making a difference, making some memories, making some fun. All of this, it's up to us. So this is more of a Q&A format today, everybody. So if you got questions, type them in. You can also come off of mute. I did get quite a few people asking me about a recap of my presentation, and so I pulled a few slides so we can go a little more into detail for them if you folks have questions about it. And then we'll go out there and apply what we learned and go actually make a difference, go make some money. All right, so let me switch over here. I had a ton of fun. I hope everybody else did. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, but Jay Stark said that there were over 1,700 or 1,400 people that watched the Nationals. That's a lot of people. So good job for building for it, everybody. I know that we all would have preferred a hug fest. We all would have preferred to be meeting up, and safety first, I guess. At the end of the day, money's not important as people. So let's stay in our houses. Let's do the thing. Let's be supportive of all the healthcare workers that are out there risking their lives so we don't have to. So let's just stay home and not get sick so they don't get sick so the world can keep spinning. The more, again, this is my own opinion. I'm not a scientist or on the front lines or anything, but I do know that the more we stay inside, we can still do online businesses, but the more we reduce contact, then the faster this whole thing will be over. And I'm so grateful I have an online business and that we get to work together in this capacity, and that the kind of risks that we take are way different than the kind of risks other people are taking. So I'm going to share my screen here. No sound. I'm hearing you hearing me. Okay. Cool. So, cable, share. Okay. Would you guys like me to go over some of my PowerPoint from this weekend? Would that be helpful? Would you guys want some clarity around more of that I was talking about?
I vote yes.
Okay, well, she votes yes. You're all outvoted.
Michael, can you cover also like the complaint, the earnings plan?
You want me to go over the earnings plan?
That will be very helpful.
Okay. I don't have the updated slide from Scott.
I do.
Will
I
you
can
send
send
it to me?
Yes.
Well, that'll make it a lot easier. So first things first, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I emphasized it enough, but what you believe about what you're capable of is more important than what you're actually capable of. How many people are here actually capable of making 1,000 phone calls? Every one of us. That's 3 phone calls a day for a year, and we made 1,000. So we're fully capable, but what we believe around what we're doing and what we believe our results will be have a bigger determining factor than our capabilities. This is one of the biggest factors. So this is why I bring it up so often. This is why I spend a lot of time on it, is because it's the biggest factor. And if we get clear on that and we really move it from an understanding to a belief, then the people you talk to will hear your message. If you really believe that this is the best income opportunity in the country, everybody needs Renatus, we're doing them a favor and it's their loss if they say no. If you really, really believe that, the conversations get easier. Conversations are smoother, they're easier, they're more frequent because you get that you're on a mission and you're making a difference. So move these beliefs, make them a belief, focus on them. If you want an activity to do to help you raise those beliefs, then what you can do is give you a little bit of home play to work on. I know you got plenty of time at home. I would like you to write out 5 supporting statements for the 4 core beliefs. For each belief, So, you know, you would come up with 5 reasons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for why Renatus is the best income opportunity in the country. And then you come up with 5 reasons for why everybody needs Renatus, and then 5 reasons for you're doing them a favor, and 5 reasons for it's their loss if they say no. You do this home plate, it's going to make them beliefs and not just an intellectual understanding. And that's where you can make a difference with people with your energy, because with these core beliefs, it does actually affect your energy. So I brought this up over the weekend, and how with where we're at least in my household, this is where we're at. We're still hanging out here. Yes, it doesn't matter. The sky is falling, the economy's paused, jobs are this, whatever that. It doesn't matter. It's definitely a lot easier to stay in this. I for sure tell you that, because of my Renatus business, it's way easier to stay up here. But even if, you know, I was just imagining, like with Vanessa the other day, how would I be handling this if I still worked at Jiffy Lube and Sears Tire Center and this COVID thing comes through? How would I still handle it and compose myself and get the work done and do what's necessary? And for a brief second, I was a little I was like, dang, that would really suck. But I'm here. So if I was still at Jiffy Lube, I would still be focusing on at least my hopefulness, my optimism. I would be working on my beliefs. I would maintain my enthusiasm and try to work on my passion. I would stay in these positive vibrations. But when you guys make these posts, or not just you, but the world makes these posts around, you know, day 47 of the quarantine, and you're so bored. Now all of a sudden you're over here in this world being bored, and now you've created this negative energy, right? Even though you're joking and you're trying to be like cute and trendy and sarcastic and you know, have some satire, I get that, but it still changes your energy just to do it. And then a lot of you are getting into pessimism and overwhelm, not just you, but the world. And of course, there's this frustration and then doubt and worry and all this crap, all the way down into feeling powerless and depressed. Well, if you were maybe in a different country, I could see some of these being justifiable. But you're in America, and you can control everything. You can create an online economy. You can control your time and energy. There are plenty of programs out there for people that need help paying their bills. There's just another one that just came out for business owners that need to help pay their employees to pay their bills. I mean, there's plenty of resources. This is everyone's on the same page of wanting the same outcome. Keeping the economy intact so that we can turn it on when this is done, and keeping everyone alive. So we're working together on that, and there's plenty of reason to stay up here. At least you could stay in contentment and be like, I'm in America. I'm in America where nobody starves, where gas companies, phone companies, mortgage companies are all letting me skip my payments and just put them on the back end, because we're all in a different time right now, and we got to work together and be united in this front of slowing the curve, I guess is what everyone's saying. Slow the curve. By the way, I did what Keely did yesterday, and no screen time. I was done with screens for a minute. My phone stayed on airplane mode. Didn't touch my computer. Nothing. I walked the dog. I played. We cooked a lot. But every once in a while, you all need to take a break from your screens, especially from Facebook. You go into Facebook, make a post, go to your groups, support your groups, get support. But then after, stop scrolling, man. Change the game, change your energy, change your vibration. It's up to you. So let's stay in that passion, enthusiasm, positive expectation, which I have a positive expectation. You heard Bob Snyder all weekend long talking about a positive expectation. This could be a couple weeks, couple months of an interrupt for most people's life. It's better than, you know, being dead forever. But the interrupt is still something we can be positive during. It's still something we can have our enthusiasm. It's a lot it's time for everyone to tap into their passion as well. If you're not doing your passion, well, what a rude awakening by a virus to tell you, hey, why don't you step into your passion and quit wasting time? So that's what we're doing here. Staying in this positive energy, joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. So the home play here, if you're already naturally optimistic and it's easy for you to stay positive during this, then great. But for those of you who are like bouncing back and forth several times a day, I'm grateful, I'm scared, I'm enthusiastic, I'm doubtful, I'm optimistic, I'm overwhelmed. You keep going back and forth. Do this one thing. I want you to do a gratitude list. This gratitude list of anywhere from 5 to 50 new things every day for the next 30 days. And you'll come up with between 100 and 1,000 things that you're grateful for. Who here on the line has already done that gratitude list exercise, done the challenge, and would recommend it? Anybody here recommend doing that?
Absolutely.
Definitely, Michael, definitely.
All right,
Yeah, I
we're getting
recommend it for sure.
endorsements, everybody.
The 50 gratitudes a day and not repeating them gets really fun and challenging a few weeks into it when you start being grateful for your belly button lit and your nose hairs.
Don't forget toenails.
So many things to be grateful for. So for those of you who are having a hard time making sales, it might also be because you don't have this attitude of gratitude. If you're not grateful for leads, if you're not grateful for sales, if you're not grateful for phone calls and emails, and if you're not grateful for texts, these are things to be grateful for. Be grateful that your phone has power so you can make a phone call, right? A lot of you are like, oh, but my phone is so scary to use to make sales with, and you're scared of your phone to make sales, but you're glued to your phone when it comes to scrolling on Instagram. So let's fix the contradictions here. Use your phone to make money, not just pass the time. Or if you're gonna pass time, do something else other than your phone. Go do push-ups or walk your dog or clean your house or watch a class or something else. Don't be average, right? The average person is scrolling through Facebook 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Don't be average, man. Yes, stay connected, but don't do it in the average way. So that's my home play on attitude of gratitude.
Somebody wanted a screenshot of this without the doodles on it.
You want the screenshot without the doodles?
Someone, yes.
Oh, fine. I'll de-doodle.
And then also, if you could touch on this, someone mentioned in the chat, one thing I struggled with when I heard these beliefs, the 4 core beliefs, is if we truly believe everyone needs this, but we only want to attract certain people to join, it seems conflicting.
I've definitely gone through that thought process and noticed the conflict, but really where I settled it in my mind is that not everybody's ready for Renatus. They might still need it, but if they're the jerk or they're selfish or they're pessimistic or they're a know-it-all, those kinds of things, then even though they need it, they might not be ready for it. And so that's where I'm saying you still don't prejudge them. You still know they need it, but you also go, these people aren't ready. These people don't deserve it. Like if they need it, as in they need a community, they need an income source, they need online education, they need the right education. These things that they need, but if they're not ready for it, then they still don't get it, right? Just like you might need so many things in your life, but how the universe works is the student appears when the teacher is ready, and the teacher appears when the student is ready, right? You can't like force this stuff. It's just when they're ready. And I really think that's what it comes down to. They're just not ready for it, even though they need it. Does that help clarify the The two conflicting thoughts.
They said thank you, so yes.
Cool. Kind of reminds me of with Keely too. Like Keely, I was following up with her for so long. I still believe that she needed it. She needed it. She needed it, right? Everybody needs it. Everybody needs it. But she just wasn't ready for it. She had started a different business, and I was encouraging her in that business, right? I didn't talk shit. I didn't say that's stupid. I didn't say, well, why are you doing you started a business, but you're not starting my business. That's stupid. I didn't do any of that. I actually went to her presentation. I bought some of her stuff. And then I was like, look, because of my business, I have the money to buy stuff from your business. So you should take a look at my business.
I'm so grateful.
and so even though I knew it, she wasn't ready for it. And so people are just, I maintained that thought in my head of she needs it, she needs it, and she needs it, and she needs it. And by maintaining that thought, I kept talking to her. I kept up a reason for talking to her. And then because I kept talking to her, she saw what Renatus is and decided to buy. Yeah, it just depends, man. It totally depends on when they're ready. But this everybody needs it thing is to make sure you don't judge people. Because then when you judge people, you also could easily go into the downward spiral of your energy. And so,
how do you keep the mindset of this person needs it without saying you need this to them constantly, because that's kind of a shutdown as well.
right. Because people get defensive if you come out and say that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've had that once or twice.
Hey, I see that you're struggling in debt. You can't pay your bills. You don't know how to count. You don't have any friends. You need this.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we do our reach out calls and we're calling people just out of the blue, because there's some people in our marketing lists that we haven't talked to in weeks, months, or years. So when we reach out to them, what we want to do is assume the positive. When we assume the positive, it will uncover the negative. But if we assume the negative, it
What do you
will
mean by the
cover
positive?
Okay, so here's what I mean. When I'm doing my three-way calls with my teammates, especially, this is what I do is I say, hey, I realize that we called you out of the blue. This is a totally random phone call. Your friend was saying some great things about you, so it was me that decided to call you. And because I don't know where you're at with life and business, and everything might be going great, I'll be brief. We're in the real estate industry. We do residential, commercial, we do wholesaling and auctions and land development and lease options and seller finance notes. We got a great business. You ever consider getting involved in real estate? So that's basically the script there. So, and because I don't know where you're at, this is admitting that we have not judged them, right? Because I don't know where you're at, well, I can spell, with life and business.
That makes sense.
Because I don't know where you're at with life and business. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there we go. I don't know where you're at with life and business. Life and business. Everything might be going great. So I'll be brief. And then you just briefly describe what we do. This right here of everything might be going great is the assuming the positive. You're probably fine. You probably, knowing you with how hard you work, you probably have, a couple years of reserve set aside. You probably have, your next 5 vacations planned out. You probably got your kids' college on track. Like, we're not actually saying that stuff. I mean, you might want to, depends. But when we assume the positive, hey, everything's going great, you're probably paying your bills, and everything's just fine, but I'm just calling you to let you know this is what I'm working on. Then they go, well, in fact, everything has hit the fan. I'm so glad you called. Tell me what this is, because it might be the thing I'm exactly looking for. When you assume the positive, it's interesting because people just want to, they want to just be the opposite of whatever you're doing. So if we think about a pendulum that's just swinging back and forth, right? And over here, we got our positive. And over here, we got our negative. And whichever way this thing swings, whichever way you swing it with your language, the customer is going to swing it the other way. So because statistically, I know everyone's in a not so hot spot, my old language was I would just bring up the negative. Hey, you know, since the average income earner only makes 16 bucks an hour, they pay 30% in taxes and they don't have a retirement account, I thought I'd call you. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's
Because then
aggressive.
they'll actually, if you come out over here on this side, then they'll start swinging over and say, well, actually, everything's fine. I just got a raise and Billy's doing fine in school and everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. And then because everything's fine in what they said, now they got to pretend for years and years and years that everything's fine. Every time they see you, everything's fine, everything's fine. Because they don't want to admit all of a sudden that things have gone crappy, because then you'll have seen the whole time that they were lying.
But Michael, what happens if you haven't done anything? Because if you say, I'm just calling to let you know what I'm doing, what happens if you haven't done anything? And what do you tell them?
Well, Sandra, there's no such thing. What you're saying is you have done no things.
No, let me rephrase. It's not that I've done nothing. I have nobody on my team. I have sold nothing. I have no ICM. I've sold no education. I'm ex-combo profits, whatever that is now. But I have not been able to make a sale yet.
Okay.
So what do I tell them I've been doing? I've been getting education.
Have
And
you
they're
done a
gonna
real
say,
estate deal?
no, nothing.
Okay, so let me finish this thing, then we'll come over to your thing. I just want to make sure I got
Thank
clear
you.
with Logan on this. So if you assume the negative, then they're going to uncover the positive for you. But if you they're going to do the opposite. We want them to bring up the negative. So if we assume the positive, they'll swing the ball over to the negative and say, well, actually, you know, Mary just lost her job and now we're looking for an extra thing. Or Billy's about to go to college and we need a better plan. And so assume the positive. Assume the positive for yourself. Assume the positive because it's a higher energy. Assume the positive because then if you're right, then great, and they are doing fine, and you can have a different kind of conversation. But if you're wrong, then it gives them a space to actually say, well, you know, actually could be open to some new streams of income. If you're positive about it and you see them in a positive light, then there's no judgment. Coming back to, you know, the core beliefs of no judgment here. This makes this conversation a lot easier. I've probably in the last month had this conversation maybe and said these words, oh geez, probably 200 times in the last 30 days with just different phone calls I've been making with people. You know, hey, I realized we called you out the blue. It was kind of a random call. Your friend was saying some nice things about you. So it was my idea to call. And because I don't know where you're at in life and business, and maybe everything is going great, I'll be brief. I've probably said that to 200 new people in the last month, which now that I said it out loud is actually not that many. I need to make more phone calls. But then with that, I'll be brief. You know, we got a great business. It's in real estate. We do residential, commercial, wholesaling, lease options, auctions, residential, commercial, wholesaling, lease options, seller finance notes. We do everything. And then I just end it with a question, which you all know. Have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? And then if they say yes, you say, great, here's a webinar coming up. And if they say no, then you say, well, great, there's a webinar coming up. And I realized we called you out of the blue. Your friend was saying some nice things about you, so it was me that decided to call. And because I don't know where you're at with life and business, and maybe everything is going great, I'll be brief. I mean, we got a great business. It's in real estate. We do residential, commercial, wholesaling, lease options, rentals. And so I guess our question is, have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? Yes, no, webinar time, let's go. And then track it, drop them in your Helios, let the campaign begin. So hopefully that helps. Nathan, I believe it was.
Yeah, that helped a lot,
Logan.
actually.
Logan, that was it. Okay.
That
Cool,
helped a lot.
Logan.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for participating. You betcha. All right, Sandra. No things.
Yes, sir.
So, okay. I'm laughing because this is an easy solution, and I just thought of an analogy that made me laugh. Okay, no things. Do you have any kids, Sandra?
No,
Do you have any nieces or nephews?
no.
Do you have a friend that has a kid?
What age bracket is a kid?
Yes. Okay. Could you imagine this kid coming up to you and here he is, or she, hey kid, what's up? Oh, no things. I'm in med school now, and I see my PhD being way over here, and well, how's it going? Oh, it's not going well. It's actually going pretty bad because I've done no surgeries. I haven't got to see any clients or patients. It's been pretty bad. I've been able to do no prescriptions. It sucks, man. I am not even close. I've done no things. But if we go back and look, and we're like, all right, well, you did this class and this class and this class and this class and this class, and you did these things to achieve this, and you also did this, and you made these sacrifices with time and energy, and you made this happen, and you did this and this, and then you finally got onto a team, and then you did this, and you finally got accepted, and now you're making progress. Now you've tried this and that, and now you spent a lot more time on this and this. Would we tell this kid you suck because you have done no surgeries? You're
No.
supposed to be a doctor. You're in med school. Why aren't you a doctor yet? You've done no prescriptions. You haven't seen anybody.
On the path, it's a journey.
Totally. So if we get that straight and you know where the path is going to lead, then does it matter what other people out in the boondocks are saying? These people over here going, you're not a doctor. You haven't done surgeries. Blah, blah, blah. Does it matter what any of these people on the sideline are saying? If you
No.
know where the path is going to lead us. Exactly. It does not matter what these people are saying. Now, the funny thing is, you might be one of those people in your own head. You might be that person going, you're not far along. Look at these kids over here and blah, blah. But that's not the point. If someone's in school, we cheer them on. If someone's making a change in their life, we cheer them on. So you need to cheer yourself on. Yes, you got the Extreme Plus combo, but that's your education. Have you taken your 10-step training? Have you made your list of 200? Have you reached out to all of them? Have you updated your Facebook profile? Have you done the social media marketing campaigns? Have you done your real estate sales success class? I mean, these are all little things along the way that are just little tick marks of, yes, I've accomplished that. So these things will make it a lot easier for me to have a conversation. One other thing I like to compare this to is, so here's me and here's my buddy John O'Neill? You guys know John?
No.
Well, he's a big part of our Utah team. He spent a lot of time on the pack. He just recently stepped down this year to focus on his family, and but he rose to pack the fastest. He was rookie leader of the year, I think, in 2015. He did a lot of great things. And from the time he came in to making 100,000, his path was like that, whereas my path was like this. It just kept going and going and going. And then finally I hit 100 grand after like 3 years. Excuse me. But Jono hit 100 grand in like 6 months.
And by the way, congratulations for your award. It was awesome.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Working hard, staying focused. Need to focus more. That can't happen again. Number 1 for 2021. Here we go, baby. Okay, so here's what I'm saying, because now I'm looking at this. I'm going, it took me 3 years to get to the same spot it took John 6 months. And I started wondering, like, what's the difference? Because I took the same training, but I didn't do it in 6 months. And I've been around longer than him, and he came in after me and is already doing all this stuff. What's going on? And so here's what I think is, it's like this. You know, when you got one of those locks, and on the bottom is like a little dial, right? A little dial, and it's got a bunch of numbers in it. You got to spin the dial to unlock the thing, right? So I came with 0 numbers. And so for me to unlock this lock, which is my financial potential, I had to take all kinds of classes, and it just took me this many years to get enough numbers to unlock the combination. But when O'Neill came on board, this dude had already been working on his life and his business and himself and his language, and the dude already had 4 out of the 5 numbers filled in. And so when he finally got to Renatus, took a couple classes, a couple trainings, unlocked that last code, and boom, the lock opens and his money's pouring out. So, Sandra, I have a higher ability to do math than John. I can do math better. I can carry decimal points and do percentages and just do math in my head a little bit better. I can also command a more intelligently designed sentence than John. John's a smart dude. He can do math. He can speak well. But the dude ends his sentences with prepositions more often than I care to point out. What I'm saying is, I had a lot of smarts, right? Yay for me and my smarts. But I didn't do the proper things to unlock my money potential. So it doesn't matter what your IQ is. It doesn't matter how well you can do math or code or, you know, do CPR or whatever. What John had, what he developed was people skills and the ability to listen. And so I learned more from just watching John listen than I did in some of these classes. Just his ability to listen to someone else. And it doesn't matter if they're old or young, smart or dumb, confused or on the ball. He just taught me how to listen. And that was one of the numbers I needed to start unlocking what was going on here. You know, then the following year or so, both of him and I both made over $700,000 the following year, and really just started cranking on it because I started to unlock these numbers. I started getting these other things that were happening for me. So maybe you, Sandra, are missing one number, or maybe because of your life's experiences and coming into this business, you don't have any of those numbers filled in. And so although you're filling in these numbers, I have 0 and John had 4, the lock was still locked. And it might feel that same way for a while, that you're adding these numbers in, but the lock is still locked. And so if you stick with it long enough and you finally fill in those last little pieces, it's going to unlock for you, and then you'll be doing morning webinars and I'll be taking notes.
I am not giving up. I'm absolutely committed to making this everything it's going to be for me and my husband. I guess I just don't know how to package what I'm accomplishing when I go to call somebody, because I've made some calls recently before nationals, trying to get some people to be guests. And so what are you doing? Well, I said, look, we've made several offers, but we've learned through our education that if the numbers aren't right, you don't buy, because you're going to get yourself in trouble. And that's
So
part of.
so what you're saying is you've avoided several $100,000 mistakes because of your training.
Okay, that's a different way to package that, and thank you.
Yeah. So because I have the eyes to see and the know-how to break down and analyze a deal, I've been able to say no to something that a year ago I might have said yes to, and I'd be in some hot water.
Mm. Okay, so I really haven't painted the picture in a way that someone who doesn't understand real estate may not appreciate the value of the education.
Bingo.
Okay, so it really is more about the language than anything. So I'm going to work on what I say, because I don't have an active 5-star, and I'm kind of like an orphan, not an orphan, but I've joined another group that I moved to when my group disbanded. It's I don't feel like I've got the same support that I thought I would have.
Okay. Well, the good news is you got the calls that you got here every day. You got your group coaching on Tuesdays with Gavin. You got your one-on-one coaching. You do have a pack member that's part of your upline, and um, and maybe you take this as a opportunity to decide, what was your buying experience, right? Where you promised this, that, and the other that someone couldn't fulfill on, and now maybe you are hesitant to make a sale because you don't want to create that same disappointed feeling you have right now in someone else, and so you're not making a real effort towards it to prevent someone from feeling abandoned. And so something that you got to settle in your mind is your commitment to your new team members. You got to remember too that you don't get paid to lead a team. You don't get paid to train people in real estate. You don't get paid for any of that stuff. Ultimately, functionally, as marketers, we are just paid to give people logins and passwords and process their payment. Everything that we throw in on top of that is just a benefit for them because we like helping people, and that's just who we are. But we don't get paid to train. And so that person who maybe made those promises to you, well, that's not something you should be doing. We don't promise that we do deals for people. If we like them and it works out well and we gel with them well and we want to do a deal with them, that's different than saying, hey, join my team, buy my education, and I'll do a deal with you. We're not doing that. That's a big no-no.
I guess I don't really know who to call to help me with 3 ways. I guess that's really more the bigger
Sandra, you can
picture.
call me.
There you go.
This is
Tell
Wanda.
Wanda.
I've
Thank
been
you, Wanda.
yeah, I've been here for you.
Thank you.
Hi, Sandra. My name's Cheryl Blanchett. I'm in Seattle, Washington.
So Cheryl will help too. So you
Thank
got
you.
Wanda and Cheryl.
God bless you.
You have a whole
Yeah.
group here that'll help you.
Let's make some smiles. Let's make some dials. So get with each other. Exchange contact info. Make sure you're staying in touch. This is a wonderful business. There's a lot of tools out here that we're barely even using, and so over time, as more of us learn about them and we tap into them, we're gonna have a lot more fun with it. But one of the tools that we always have control over is our energy, and being able to express gratitude and appreciation and our passion and enthusiasm for where we're headed, what we're doing, what this company offers. There's a lot to be grateful for. I see, before we wrap this up, I see that Sandra has her hand up. She used the little chat feature to put her hand up. Did you mean to do that, Sandra? You got a question?
Um, oh, sorry, different Sandra. Sorry.
Oh, different Sandra. Ah, I just didn't realize that. Hernandez. Buenos dias.
Hi,
Sandra?
this is Cheryl. I can't find the chat. Is it disabled?
No, no.
No?
I have 77 unchecked chats right now. I have not read it all this
Because
morning.
I'm trying to get my phone number to Sandra
You might need to click on the members,
members. Okay. Will
and
do.
then there's a
Thank you.
chat box in there. Manage participants, and then chat.
Nope, I have raise hand and unmute me. So that's weird.
Are you on Facebook?
I am.
So Cheryl's on Facebook, Wanda is on Facebook, and Sandra Bennett is on Facebook. So
Oh,
we're creating solutions right here.
Thank you.
Okay, you got it. All right, everyone. When I come back, we're gonna go over a couple more of my slides from the presentation this weekend, and just make sure that we're dialing in really what I wanted to convey to you. Just remember, when you're going out there today, no judgment. No judgment.
Hey,
Hey, Michael.
Yes.
quick question. So maybe in a couple of weeks, would it be possible to do something for specifically like a little training on people who are already active in real estate and be like, hey, what are you doing with your downtime? And people are kind of giving me the rejection of like, why do you want me to join your group? So maybe in a few weeks, could we do something like that?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Will you give me like the top 5 rejections or comments or something like that that you've been getting, and then we can go over them?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, just give me a little more structure to that, and then I'll tell you how I would go about it. Because yeah, there are some people who have been making buku bucks in real estate, and now we're like, hey, it's time to join. They got questions. What's in it for me? So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Someone else had a question too. I think we talked at the same time.
That will be me.
Hey, what's up?
And just I wasn't able to connect really quick because I'm doing something else. But my only thought when I raise my hand is because I don't know if Sandra is dealing with some of the issues that I've been going through, and it's affirmations. Affirmations for me has been working a lot because I didn't believe in myself. So I didn't know what affirmations were. I could do it for other people, but not for me. So through the process, I've been learning that I have to focus on my affirmations first, so I can believe in myself and what I'm trying to do to accomplish. So I don't know if that will help for her, but I couldn't feel myself important before, and now I start the day by the affirmation of I am important. So I don't know if that will help. But just
Oh yeah, it would definitely help. Let's all use our affirmations. So I just wrote down 2 right here. 2 things I tell myself every day is my life improves as I lead others, and I like myself and I love what I do. And sometimes I'll say that like 10 times in a row. I like myself and I love what I do, and I like myself and I love what I do, and I like myself and I love what I do. And then I make phone calls, or then I make a post, or then I get on a training, or then I call a team member, whatever it is. But Sandra Hernandez is correct with using affirmations daily. We got to get it in our mind every day. Okay,
Michael,
we're at the top of the hour.
yeah.
What's
Do
up,
you have
Wanda?
no, because I just wanted to go over the earnings plan. I kind of understand, but I have questions maybe. So I heard Scott this morning again, and I just want to hear how you do it to get it more clear in my head. But I know we don't have meetings now, but if you have more time, we can.
Yeah, let's we'll go over the comp plan. Not much has changed. So
I know the top of the hour, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we'll get to it for sure.
I just wanted to say thank you for what you've said today. I've actually learned a lot in the short time that I've been on this call, but I do have to leave. I just arrived at the job that I'm working at today. Thanks,
Okay.
and I guess I'll be back.
Good idea.
All right, have a good one.
Okay,
That's the-
thanks everybody.
Content,
Mike.
content.
Mike, can you hear me?